the first wake-up call for me is Xavier's born. I can't lift the kid. I can't move with him. I can't believe I can't hold this kid in my arms and go 3 blocks even, right? I'm about to fall. I'm exhausted. Even like everything was exhaustion. If you told me in my 20s that I'd be in a gym going 4 times a week and be doing what I'm doing, I'd say you're crazy. There's no way I would do any of this stuff. You went through hell for that 1 hour. Those are the type of things that you don't think you're really capable of doing. 5, 6 more minutes of pain, like then you're happy. I'm proud of who I am as an individual. I'm proud of how I take care of myself. Like all those things I think turn into you're proud of who you are in the mirror.
I appreciate it. Hope to be here for 50 more.
That's why the Joker and Lex Luthor are like the 2 ultimate bad guys of all time. I got my ass kicked in again, but I'm coming back tomorrow.
You're just angrier. You still have an anger monster. What do you remember of me and you at peak?
Wow. Do you remember you taught me how to front squat there? That's where I learned to get uncomfortable with putting the bar on my neck, right?
I used to just give you the hardest things.
Yeah, you really did. You'd be like, let's do this. I'm like, yeah, let's do something else. You know what I mean? And you're like, okay. You'd be like, okay, whatever.
Come on, Pat. Drive it, come on.
Right, but you had plans for me, and most of the time I followed it. 99% of the time I followed it. But there'd be times like, yeah, I don't want to do that today. But like we did wall sits, and we did all kinds of stuff, and we worked on upper body because I like upper body more, but you definitely worked on my legs, and I learned how to front squat. It was probably the fundamental beginnings of my, all my squat movement was front squat over back squat.
What was the deal again? Like, how did you meet Joe?
So the way I met Joe was...
This is a funny story because the owner of the gym was Joe Dowdell, and he was a good friend of mine, and he needed like IT services and stuff like that. So I said to him, look, you don't really have any money, so we'll do this exchange. I'll do this IT stuff for you, and what you can do for me is give me some training. I'm weak, I might as well do something, And so I'm thinking I'm gonna work out with Joe. And of course, nobody works out with Joe, right? We all know that. So what ends up happening is this guy, Kyle, comes in, he's like, I'm gonna be your trainer. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'm like, look, this is the deal. I'm doing an exchange with Joe, so I'm gonna show sometimes, I'm not gonna show sometimes. I don't care, you can just charge me, because it's a deal, right? So, and he's like, he goes, okay. And so Kyle and I just started to work out.
So we were so weak, well, at least I was, that Sean would be doing like a tricep thing where I'd be holding a towel and he'd be going like this and do for resistance.
Big breath,
Go back, go back, go back, go.
When I got to New York, I thought you have to have a gym membership. Every guy has a gym membership just because it's just a thing to have. And I would go here and there to Equinox or whether it be Crunch or Equinox. I had those memberships, and sometimes a girl I know would be there too, so we would work out together, quote unquote, where I just jump on the treadmill for like 6 minutes or some BS, and then like go maybe do a couple dumbbell curls, and then like, okay, I'm done. Like I would nothing with the focus or nothing that would like turn into anything, because I didn't really care about that stuff that much,
I didn't really have any goals. I didn't say like, oh, I want to lift, I want to do this. I was just like, let's just do something and we'll work on it. But Kyle kind of had a picture of what I couldn't do, and I couldn't do much, right? I had hip issues where like my hip would freak out when I would do something with my legs. When I would try to do bench, I would have all this pain in my shoulder. So there was all kinds of issues that we were dealing with, and Kyle was just like, let's just take it easy. We're gonna slowly start doing this stuff. I had a shoulder issue all the time, so I couldn't even do like a back squat with the bar. I had like this weird thing that kind of came over your arms. You had to hold these poles. So I learned to do that for like back squat. And because I had so many issues with my shoulder, front squat kind of became the first thing that I learned even before back squat. So I was, putting that bar really uncomfortably on your neck and stuff like that. So it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun.
I remember like when I was, all the battles I've gone through with the gym, and just like how you correlate that with your life. Just there is so many trials and type tribulations that we do in the gym that it definitely crosses over, because you're just like, oh my God, like you went through hell for that 1 hour, and when you're done, you feel like you can do anything, because those are the type of things that you don't think you're really capable of doing. You know, like when you have to lift really heavy shit, or like 10 reps of like whatever it may be, and then you're totally done. You've done the auxiliary, you've done the heavy lifting, and then you get to the thaw. And you're like, I don't want to do the thaw. I got nothing left, right? Then it's 2 minutes on, 1 minute off. Then it's 1:30. Then it's that's a lot. That's why the Joker and Lex Luthor are like the two ultimate bad guys of all time, right? So yeah. Yeah, I got my ass kicked in again, but I'm coming back tomorrow, right? I'm gonna get my ass kicked in, I'm gonna come back. Like, they're like, but this one's gonna work, but this one's gonna work, but they just keep on going. And eventually, in the comic book, they do win. A lot of them, they do get a chance to win here and there, right? So it's the truth. Like, you know, I think that when you think of this journey that even I've gone through, it's the madness of it all is, when I look at, like, there's a really cool, well, I wouldn't say it's cool, it's more like just a picture of me and Money on the wall, and we're fat as fuck. We are fat kids on the wall. Like, we are, I don't even know how that's possible, because I thought I was getting skinnier, but I must have hit a fat phase again, right? So I'm fat, and he's fat, and we look kind of happy, but it's like, oh my God, that was how long ago?
I really started to get better at things like the front squat and the bench. Like, I would start to really enjoy the bench, and I was weak, right? So I was working on it. In fact, there's even a video of me where, like, I think we slapped some 45s on there, and I finally got it up for like 1. And so it was like monumental moment for me, right? And I was like, oh, this is great. This is going to be so special.
The first wake up call for me is Xavier's born. I can't lift the kid. I can't move with him. I can't believe I can't hold this kid in my arms and go 3 blocks even, right? I'm about to fall. I'm exhausted. Even like everything was exhaustion. So when we started to work out together, I started to get some strength. So I started to feel like, whoa, I can do a couple more things that I could do before, you know, and that really started to change things. Like, just you put me on at least some plan when I was at peak that I didn't have before, right? I was in La La Land. I was just kind of, hey, I used to say, oh, it should be back and biceps and chest and triceps. So like, I knew the old, like rhyme, but I didn't do any of it. Like, I was like, okay, whatever. And I never would work out my legs. Like, my legs were just dead. There was no way I was going to work out legs. You worked out my legs more than I ever worked out my legs in my life, right? All the time we'd be like on that funny thing that would like vibrate. Remember that thing, like where you had to like...
We'd always start there.
While that was happening, I'm also, really, really having a great friendship with Kyle. So I was just doing all these things with, Kyle when it comes to the gym, and I'm also doing all this stuff personally with him. So a friendship was being bonded. And then, eventually you and Kyle left to create this new entity. And I was like, what am I going to do? Like, I'm going to have to do something real here, because there's going to be like, real people around me, and they want to do these group things. So I was like, I'm going to try it.
The fort just started changing everything, right? Like, it's not just physical, it was mental. It was committing to something that I don't even do or like every week, 2 times a week, then 3 times a week, then 4 times a week. Like, if you told me in my 20s that I'd be in a gym going 4 times a week and be doing what I'm doing, I'd say you're crazy. There's no way I would do any of this stuff. It doesn't even make sense. Like, when you see all these guys that are like, oh, they've gotten all ripped and they gotten big, I'm like, that's not gonna be me. That's not who I am. I don't ever expect that. So again, that's what I talk about when I look in the mirror, and I look at the mirror, I'm like, whoa, like, I've put the time in. I really have. And I'm like, and I don't do it like I used to do it even partial, where I would stop after September and it would go almost till December and I would be done. I'm here all year long. Why people like being around me is because I don't try to bring negative energy. I keep it positive. I want it to be fun. I want it to always keep that, like, a really positive attitude. I think, sometimes people call me the mayor, right? It's because I love spreading all that fort, like, joy. We push each other. We're always pushing each other to get one more rep. When we're rowing against each other, but it's not out of any, like, it's competition, but it's not. It's love. It's love in competitions, because we all know, as you work out with people, you know what they're capable of. So you want to push them to that level. It's not an environment where it's like, oh, you don't know the person and nobody, like you're by yourself. If you let the community engulf you the way that we can, everybody's rooting for everybody at every moment, for some kind of positive outcome.
What I remember of you, you're just angrier. You still have an anger monster in you. You have
Yeah,
it.
of course.
But I think you've learned how to give it an outlet through the training.
Oh, definitely.
So that it gets its fix, and then it doesn't have to be bottled up.
It's a requirement. It really is. Like, I think my wife's seen it. We have a better marriage because of it. We're a much stronger couple because I don't just bottle up. I mean, I'm like I gotta go to the gym. She goes, you go to the gym, go get get all that angst out and come home. Don't be upset with the family. And I'm like, you're right. And I'll go and I'll do my thing. I'll hit that weights really hard, lift as heavy as I can, and push my body to the max. Because a lot of times I'll come home and I'm like, I think I need a nap, right? Like it's that's how hard we're pushing it, right? So it's super important. But yes, I was definitely more angrier, and I'm a lot more calmer.
Specific goal is we want to be able to do 100 kilo on the bench, but not like for one. I'm talking about like that's my consistent workout. Like I'm doing 100 kilo, like when we're doing our 5s or when we're doing the 8s and whatever. And then my back squat, I mean, sure, I'd love to get to 200 kg. I don't think that's realistic this year. If I can get to 150, that make me very happy, right? I'm someone that can do pretty good back squats. I'm pretty strong when it comes to my legs and everything. So to get to that next kind of monumental goal, which I think is 150s, it's like 300 plus pounds. These are good goals for me, right? I'm going to start running, right? I talked to Gab, and Gab and I are talking about a plan so that I'm going to work with her to start running, which is ridiculous because I'm not a runner.
Right.
But again, I think that this is the same thing with what I've accomplished here. I feel like I've done all these things when it comes to the strength training and the weight training. If I can just run on the off days 3 times a week, 2 times a week, whatever it is that I need to do, pretty soon it'll become more natural.
138, 139, and 500 meter row. That's freaking hard for me, right? That's pushing a lot.
Going dark.
Yeah, that's like, you have to go dark for me to accomplish that. I can't just do that just because I want to do it on a Tuesday. I got to say, I have to do this. I'm going to do this. It's like, like where you're looking at the screen and it's almost like melting. It's not even there, right? And at that point, you got to just close your eyes and just keep on pulling, and it doesn't matter because eventually it's going to come to an end, right? That's that euphoric feeling.
Do you think you're going to have a 60th birthday workout?
I mean, I hope so. I think that's the plan, right? I don't see anything slowing me down. I've learned how to manage my body in the last few years. Like, I protect my knee because it's the most messed up thing and I won't let it slow me down. So I think the answer is, yeah, I expect to. I don't expect to go anywhere. Like if people have tried to take me away from the fort, and I'm like the cement, I'm the concrete. I'm not going anywhere. If Kyle needs me at this gym, whatever gym he wants me at, that's where I'll be. 4:30.
Let's go, baby.
Day I was born a fighter. I rise up like smoke from a gun, like a brand new sun. Since the day I was born a fighter, I rise up.
Thank everybody for coming to my 50th torture rack. I appreciate it. Hope to be here for 50 more. Let's go! So I was going in for this special exam called a executive health program exam through Mayo Clinic, and I had to get a primary physician, primary care doctor. So I just picked one on the Upper West Side, and he had me do a couple tests. And they kept on saying, "Hey, there's something not right." So I got something called an echocardiogram, and they really saw something wrong. And it showed that half my heart was dead, and that the Widowmaker was 99% blocked. My cardiologist was like, when she saw it, which was the same day in the afternoon, said, "You need to get over to the emergency room so they can get you a stent put in," right? Which they come up through your wrist and they put it right there in your artery. But I fought because they said I was going to have to change my whole lifestyle until I got the stent put in. So by Friday, they got me in and they put in a stent. And then I feel better, but it was pretty surprised. And now I'm on like all kinds of heart medication to get my cholesterol down and all that. But I'll find out, in fact, tomorrow if my heart is fully pumping again.
You're having a checkup again?
It's been about 6 or 7 months, so it's about time. I personally think without the fort, I wouldn't be here today, right? Just pushing my heart all the time, pushing my cardio, being in the best shape of my life.